Hi, how is everybody? Well, I want to share something. So, we're going through some old letters that my husband and I found since we were in high school from 1999. And I found some stuff from my elementary school. And I grew up Catholic, and I had a lot of issues, like a lot of lust issues, nervous tics, weird stuff that I can't control. But I wonder if there's attachments to some old things. Like if I wrote a book, say I wrote a book, well, silly stories, right? You would think it would be something good. I was Catholic. I believed in Rome's Jesus and everything, but I what I wrote in these books, are like a deranged child, a deranged child. We were allowed to watch, like Chucky and, Nightmare on Elm Street, and even at other family members' houses, stuff that had things in it you should not be watching at all. So yeah, I was pretty deranged, I guess, in my thoughts. And the Lord helped me with a lot. Oh, I don't think like that anymore. But maybe there's still some attachments and some oppression because I need to get rid of this book. I got to make a book when I lived in Dearborn, Michigan. But here's my book. Silly stories. So this is the mind of a child in elementary school. I'm a child. Let's see what year. Oh yeah. I'm a child in elementary school. Well, who was a Catholic? No changed mind. No new heart. No, nothing. No, nothing. It was bad. Okay, look. Silly stories. Written and illustrated by Anna Berchecki. Publishing company, Lori School. This is Lori School. So maybe it was no, that was elementary school. Elementary school, copyright. I was born in 1984, so this is 1995. Yeah, so like 11 years later. So yeah. But here, my table of contents. I remember other people had stuff about like teddy bears and different things, but then there's me. Here's me. 2 cats ran away. And I was a Catholic. 2 cats ran away. Yeah, I got out of there. And I didn't even know I was going to get out of there. Okay, look. Hot dog. The little hot dog. The man witch. The clothes problem. The lost dog. I was a lost Gentile dog in the cat house. What else we got? A bad day. Tip a low. Picture day in school. Ice and snow. Hip hop how? Well, we know hip hop is rebellion. That's where it originates. Rap music and hip hop. How? Poems and jokes all about me. And I used to write music. Yeah. I had original songs and everything. And I played on my keyboard and secular stuff. And some weird things happen. But look at this. This is the mind of a deranged young Catholic girl. 2 cats ran away. This is what I drew. Once there were 10 cats, but 2 ran away. Mom went to find them. Well, I can't find them. Then one cat came up to Mom and began to cry. Okay, well, anyway, the cats ran away. Okay? Has to do with pizza. And even the pizza boy looked. Isn't that interesting? Pizzagate. In the Catholic house. This is so weird. Look again, the little kitten cried. And looked, but there was not to find them. The cops looked, Mom looked, and even the pizza guy looked. Pizza boy looked. Found them, everyone looked and looked. Mama went back to the house, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that one's not so bad. Now we got the little hot dog, okay? The little hot dog. This is me. I drew this. Once there was a little girl, her name was Beth. She had red hair and blue eyes. Lots of people called her redhead. Beth was a very nice, see, look at even stereotypes. God had to root out a lot of things. Hate. A lot of hate. Maybe some racism and stereotypes. Yeah, I just ate a hash brown. Sorry about that. But yeah, look. So Beth was a very nice girl. When it was dinner, she put some ketchup on her hot diggity dog. When she was about to eat it, it said, "Don't eat me." And it was a red thing on me. What's this red thing on me? It's ketchup. I know that, said the little hot dog. The next day, Beth got so hungry because she had no dinner, so she took Mr. Hot Dog's word that she would not eat him. The next day, Beth forgot the little hot dog was magic. What was magic? When she had dinner, she ate it. But when she bit the hot dog, the hot dog awoke. The hot dog awoke? There's your woke right there. There's your woke. Get woke with the magic. Its eyes opened. What? Beth was about to eat his eyes. I mean, this is crazy. They should have sent me to a psychiatrist or something, but they didn't. But Beth ate his mouth so he could not talk. And then she ate all of it and the hot dog was gone. So I don't know what this means. But this is not good. The Mad Witch. So there's the Mad Witch, a little girl named Mary. Yeah, Rome's Mary. Was lost in the woods. She saw a brick house, and Mary went inside. She saw a broom. She sat on it, and it floated in the air. When the witch came back home, her broom was gone. She looked in her magic ball. What? She looked at her magic ball. She said, "Show me my broom." She said, "Show me my broom." We were allowed to watch anything we wanted, like The Wizard of Oz. And you think that's for kids? Yeah, okay. Those are flying orbs that are apparitions that manifest as a good witch and a bad witch, which is still a bad witch. It's still black magic. So watching that stuff put me in a fantasy vain imaginations of magic and witchcraft and sorcery and speaking things I should not. And I was very deranged. Yeah, obviously. She sat on it. When the witch came back home, her broom was gone, and she looked in her magic ball. She said, "Show me my broom." She saw a little girl on it. So the witch ran into the woods, and the broom landed on the ground. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff. And I remember other kids' stories were really nice. Well, this was in Dearborn, so it was around. I had a lot of Muslim friends, who I really liked, and their stories were great. And they weren't allowed to come to school on the holidays, but us Catholics were allowed to do pagan stuff and join with the world. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, my childhood. She told the little girl to never go into the woods and take her broom, or I'll pull your hair out. There is some violence right there. There's some violence right there. But you know what? I never got in trouble for this. I never got talked to. Nobody even cared and said, "Anna, what's going on at home? Or what's going on in your mind? What's going on in that Catholic church, that Catholic house you go to? What is this that's going on here? I'll pull your hair out. There's some violence right there. What's your name?" No, now I'm talking. Now I'm talking to a witch. Mary. Well, don't talk. Don't take things, Mary. Okay, she said. Then the witch took Mary home. Yeah, that's crazy, right? Because it all just looks like Catholic to me. I don't know. I don't have the clothes problem. Yeah, it wasn't clothed in righteousness. It looked like a witch. That's the clothes problem. Filthy rag garments, filthy rag abominations, idols, burning incense under the Queen of Heaven. Yeah, my works were filthy rags, clothed in works of iniquity, and the garments that I had were spotted by the works of the flesh, Okay, so once there was a little girl, and she was going to her friend's house, but first she had to pack her clothes. When she got there, she put things in her room. She started the fun. First they played games, then they told stories. In the morning they went outside. Okay. But anyway, I obviously had a clothes problem. She took her things and went to spend the night at another friend's house. So here's some betrayal. Right there. And she had a problem the next morning. All right, I don't know. She had some betrayal. The lost dog. Oh, yeah. So once there was a little dog who was lost. I couldn't find no house for weeks and weeks. The little girl came. She looked at the dog. She took it home. Yes, when there's a lost Gentile dog like me at that age, Rome, the Pharisee Gentile house, will be happy to have you. They will be happy to have you in any one of her harlot daughter denominations. If you're a lost Gentile dog, they'll say, come into our rebellious house. We know Jesus. Jesus this way. Jesus that way. Here he is in the desert. Believe it not. Here, the body of Christ, a cracker. Believe it not. Believe it not. So she was happy to take the dog. The dog did not like her. The dog did not like her. So I was a Gentile dog. I did not like her. But he wanted a home. And that night the little dog went into the bedroom. He was very sad that he lived with someone he did not like. That's interesting. Why would I write that? Gosh. And the next day the little girl came and the dog liked her better. And the dog liked her better than the other. Oh no, right? So the little girl asked if she could have him. And the girl said, well, okay, thank you. So she took him, and the dog lived happy. So the dog lived happily ever after. So yeah, seems like the dog just went to another harlot house. There you go. Cathedral. Yeah, that's really weird. Hello. Look at this. There is, when you're in Rome, you got another spirit, the spirit of Antichrist. And your mind is running on that spirit of Antichrist. How do I explain this? That's the fish Dagon hat that the Pope wears. You're drinking the cup of whoredoms when you eat bread with them, and drink their wine. I'll just have to post that. This is the Pope's fish Dagon hat. This is so weird. There's like spiritual stuff behind these stories about Rome in my childhood. This is the fish Dagon hat. This is the house of the harlot. This is the house of the harlot, clothed in purple and scarlet. And look at me in purple. Look. And I was a lost Gentile dog. It's sun god worship. That's a fish Dagon hat. You know the Pope hat that they wear? The pen of the scribes. It looks like one of those ink pens. That's weird. A bad day. Once there was a boy who had a bad day, and he made some pancakes. But his dad took them because he was late for work. So there was pancakes, and the dad took the pancakes away because they were late for work. Now, my dad never did this to me, so I don't know what this is about. But my grandma used to make me pancakes, so this could possibly be about my childhood, something I had to forgive with my grandfather. At lunch in school, a little girl did not bring her lunch, so the lunch lady took his lunch and gave it to her. And at the dinner, his sister took the last hot roll. Hot buns, Yeah, I think I had my mind mixed in with a lot of Catholic stuff when I wrote these stories. It's very strange. Very strange because it's really weird. And she already had one, but he didn't have one. And look at a top hat. A top hat. Wow, that's really crazy. That's right. There you got a Masonic black and white checkered floor and a witch in the school. Well, that's interesting that my mind would go there. Well, yeah, because it's vain imaginations. And we're supposed to cast down every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, right? And this is the course of the world we once walked. So even a child, if you're not born again, even as a child, this is the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that's going to manifest. Manifest in our thoughts by going to the harlot house. They go into the harlot house, which is always purple, it seems. Scarlet and purple, right? So it was a very bad day, and the next it was the same problem. So the next day was very bad also. And the next day, everything turned out just right. So it's got to have a happily ever after, So here's Tipolo. I don't even know what that means. Maybe it's some witchcraft thing that I used to say. I don't even know. But once there was a little girl. And it was deport card day. So instead of report card, I write deport card. I felt like I was getting deported. That's kind of, So she got a L plus. Don't even know what that is. On everything. What will my mom say? She said to herself, my mom is going to, look what I said. My mom is going to kill me. Who? Rome? The mother of harlots? Because my mom wasn't like this. So this is spiritual. After I had something happen to me as a child, proposition for some money by a family member. And I said no and ran home. And there was some other things I don't remember, but it never got as bad as it could have. What will I do? What will I do? I was being groomed or something. So I won't get into that, but that's what happened. Then she went up to her friend Mona. That's my aunt's name. What will I do? She said to Mona. Well, I did not get them yet. But then I don't know what this is saying. I lost it and my mom will have to pay for it. Okay, well, whatever. Then there you go. There you go, another house. What to say, blah, blah, blah. She was a little mad. Mom, I gotta tell her the truth. Mom, I got an L today, and she was a little mad. Okay. Then I got picture day in school. Yes. Drinking the wine of the wrath of God. Being in that harlot house. Picture day. Poured out with indignation. I see a lot of Catholic stuff in here. Oh, look at it again. The fish Dagon hat. Then that house, all of this, all these ideas and these perverted, grotesque stories come out of the Catholic house that I was in. We went to church. My mom would never miss a Sunday, a Saturday of church. We had to get up and go to church. We had to go to mass, Catholic mass, spiritual mass murder. Drinking the blood of the saints. But look at the fish Dagon hat. No house looks like this. Where did this come from? So it was picture day at school. I was shy because it was my first time. It was my first time. It was my first time. I was 6 years old, the number of rebellion. I was 6 years old, and I was in first grade, okay? My first time. I went to take it on May 11. So I went to take the picture on May 11. That must be true. I went into the picture room. The picture room. I was the fourth one. The lady said, smile. When I was done taking my picture, there I am. Got all the stars over there. Star of your God. Okay, I was glad it was over with. Why was I glad? This happened, and so this book I wrote, I must have had some other stuff happen that I don't remember, because this is really deranged. So when I took the picture in second grade, I was not shy, but I was happy. Yeah, because after a trauma, you begin to get desensitized to it. You kind of disconnect, and you go into another place in your head, into your mind, as if it's not happening, so you're not affected by the trauma. And I just want to say, the second time it happened, I was not shy. I was happy. So then you start thinking that this behavior is okay. Yeah, this is nuts. This is what I see when I read this story that I wrote. Well, because I know what happened in my life. That's why. I know what Jesus delivered me from. But when my sister went to first grade, she was the same way. That's interesting, because there's truth to this also with my. So isn't that weird? It says a lot right there. It's like I'm saying something without saying it. Ice and snow. Ice and snow. Okay, well, let's see what I say about this. Ice and snow. Ice and snow, top hat, some kind of weird witchy looking person right here. Once there was a little man, a leprechaun or something, but a very poor man that lived on a hill. What, the hill of Rome? Right? I know thy poverty. Very poor man, I know thy poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they're Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. They say they're Jews and they're liars. The Gentile Pharisee house, like I already showed you, that happens to have Masonic checkered floors. How would I know that? Fish Dagon hat as the roof. Interesting. That's the second time of that, right? So there was a little man. Came outside. You're a little man. Okay, so he came outside. He said, "You're a little man too." Yes. Then the two little men. Then the two little men went inside a cave. That's interesting. And they came out. Ice was falling on everything. And everything. Falling snow. Everything was full of snow and ice. Rocks were falling down the halls and falling on everyone. Look at, this is all destruction in my mind. Rocks are falling down the halls at my school, because look at, looks like my school. That looks like my school, Lori's school. Rocks were falling down the halls and falling on everyone. Yeah, look at, I had murder in my heart when they went to the cave. That's a dark, cold abyss, an empty void inside that Jesus filled, the Holy Spirit. Oh my gosh, this is, wow. Okay, snow and ice were blocking the way in. Now I've got no way of escape. I feel like whatever I'm going through, I'm trapped and there's no way out. So they had to wait until the snow and ice melts. And when it melted, they went to Indiana. I don't know why they went to Indiana. I don't know what Indiana meant to me at that time, or if it's just, I just said Indiana. Because it snows and ice falls. They found a home and food and lived happily ever after. You know, because there's always a happy ever after a trauma. So you would think. Now, hip hop how? Hip hop how? Too low? I have no idea. Hip hop how? I saw you. I saw you too. Look it. I think I know what this is about. This is about a trauma that I'm writing about. This is a child writing a horror book about her traumas. This is crazy. At 6. You know, it's I don't know how to. Okay, so hip hop how? Hip hop how? It's almost like I'm saying get away, little bunny. But how? Go down a rabbit hole. Get away out of there. Don't go down the rabbit hole. But how? How do I get away? Because I'm surrounded by a predator. Okay, so I saw you. I say, I saw you. Call me, okay. Because I'm going to the greenhouse today. Can't I go? Hip Hop House said no, but his mom said yes. Hip Hop House said yes, and blah, 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 something about a greenhouse. Something about a greenhouse. Okay, here, we're getting to the end of this. Just want to give you an idea of a deranged little girl's mind, like me, and how I have no more those kind of thoughts. No more do I have, listen, I don't have those kind of thoughts anymore. Jesus delivered me from these. You got to put on the mind of Christ. He gives you a new mind, a new heart, new heart's desires. He roots all those things out of you, takes away the bitterness, the hate, unforgiveness, being unmerciful, you know, all those different things. Jesus removes those things out of our hearts. And it's awesome. He heals us. He heals us. We know we don't wrestle flesh and blood. It's principalities, powers, the rulers of the darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places, and the weapons of our warfare. They're not carnal, but they're mighty through God, through the pulling down of strongholds, and casting down. All these vain imaginations have to be cast down. So can God deliver a deranged lunatic like I was? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I did have to go to therapy. So the word therapist, spell the word therapist. It spells the rapist. So you go from almost getting raped to mind raped. But I never got seen or talked to or cared about saying, Anna, what's going on? What's going on at home? What's going on in the household? What's going on in that Catholic church of yours? I'm not going to talk about that. But what's going on? What's going on? Why are you writing these kind of things? Why is this wickedness? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. These are, oh boy, this heart is wicked. Who can know it? God knew it. God knew it. He changed my heart. Gave me new heart's desires. Okay. So when they got there, they went into the rooms and she looked around. This is nice. Hip hop how. Time to go back home. Went into the car. It was fine. They all sat down and watched with him. Adderall. Oh, that's Atherol. Why are they spelling at her all? It was their favorite TV show. Yeah, get your mind altered. Get your mind altered. Watch programming. TV, The Vex, The Babylonian Box, mind control, brainwashing. We need our mind. We need to be washed by the washing of water by the word. And then Jesus, the word. He sanctifies us and cleanses us because you're sanctified by the truth, and the word is truth, right? So here's poems and jokes that I added. A poem is something that rhymes. A joke is something that rhymes too. Okay. But what it really is, something that you ask someone. Okay, joke. What did the man say to the little bean? Come in my car. Okay. Yeah, and we shouldn't go into the car of any stranger. So that's very strange that would be my joke. Again, again, the school, well, the school counselor, the guidance counselors, somebody with a heart or a love for their job should have pulled me aside and asked me if something was wrong. I didn't get any therapy or counseling until I was 12, which is way after this, once things came to light and I told on somebody. Yeah. Then I had to go to therapy. And honestly, that only made me worse. Why did the horse jump into the sea? I want to be a seahorse. Okay. Now here's some poems. Loop to cloop. I'm not going to read that because it sounds like witchcraft that I'm saying. Little cattle. Try to be salty. To jump in with a cradle. Whoa, whoa. The hand that rocks the cradle. The Vatican. All this is manifest from that whorehouse. From the whorehouse. Now, here's me. There's the age I was. That was me. Very deranged. Very deranged little girl that the Lord healed. Right? You would never have thought. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So I said all about me, right? High-minded. Haughty. All about me. I will be like the Most High. My name is Anna Burchacki. I was born January 13th, and I was actually born on Friday the 13th in 1984. The things I like are, here's what I like. Reading, playing, eating, doing schoolwork, and homework. The teachers I like are Miss Beck, I can't remember her name, Miss Asher, Miss Norley. I like baseball. I have 3 sisters. Cassandra, Erica, Michelle. And Kathy, too. Yeah. Maybe Erica wasn't born yet. And 1 brother. Joey. Oh, no, she was. I like to watch the Disney Channel. Oh, there you go. And I told you I've watched other things, too. But also the Disney Channel. Yeah. I like to watch The Great Mouse Detective on the Disney Channel, which is way better than these TikToks, you know? I like Jan Seymour. I don't know who that is. I like McDonald's. Yeah. That's not good. That's not good. My best friends are Layla, Ian, Beth. Oh, my story was about Beth. My story was about Mary, Sarah, and, Zinab. Boys are boys for friends. Had to make sure you know they're just friends. Or Allie. Adam B. Oh, yeah, this is when I lived in Dearborn. Adam B. and Mo. The kinds of animals I like are cats, dogs, rabbits, and bears. Oh, my. When I grow up, I want to be a star. All about me. So Satan already had his eyes, and I was writing lots of music. And I was writing lots of music, just about 15 years ago. But yeah, I want to be a star. And I remember being at a school concert, and there was about 20 of us students singing, 20 of us singing at a school concert like they have in Dearborn. I remember walking through the crowd, getting off of the bleachers, the stands, and an old woman comes up to me and she said to me, she goes, "You're going to be a star." And I don't know if that was before or after this. And I used to hear music when I was on drugs. You know, it opens gates and stuff to that kingdom of darkness. Makes everything heightened and intense, you know, more real. But I'd hear music coming through the walls at our old apartment. Yeah, I'd hear music coming through the walls. And I'd hear actual music and song lyrics sometimes, but melodies. And that's how I wrote a lot of my music, and it was automatic writing. So yeah, I was into some witchcraft and didn't really know it. But yeah, this is a deranged little girl. So I think having something like this is attachments, and I should probably burn this book. Just like in the scriptures in Acts where they counted all their curious arts. Curious arts right here. Oh, it's just a silly story. It's just a silly story with a robot on it, with an AI. There's your future showing the harlot house, having the fish Dagon as its hat. The first story is 2 cats ran away. Got out of there. Out of that cat-holic beast, Catholic. I don't know. But, yeah. It's just a silly story. But there's a lot of truth that I wrote in the perspective of being a little deranged girl with a really messed up mind and a really dark heart. Very hateful and unforgiving. So I just want to tell you, it's not like, oh, she had a great childhood. I did have a good childhood. There were people, though, in my life that were not so good during my childhood that, were trusted to be around. So here's the thing. It's just silly stories. But somebody with a deranged heart like this, who the medical field couldn't help, I had to have an EEG or EKG to my head because I was hearing voices. After a trauma happened, I was hearing audible voices. That's when Satan came and started messing with me the most. I was like 12. But even before that, there's things I don't remember because I dissociate myself. And I'd have a hard time having feelings, emotions. And the Lord's been working on that to where I have emotions now and I have agape love. I've experienced it for the body of Christ. I don't know how to explain it. I care about people. I don't know. It's awesome. It's definitely not coming from my flesh. It's not coming from me. It's coming from the Holy Spirit. Because I'm just letting you know, you can be as deranged as this. You can imagine if that's in my mind and I write this openly, and it's a public story, and I'm sure we had to read these in front of the class, and I can tell you that the Muslims, them children that were in that school with me, most of them were Muslim, in Dearborn, Michigan, during this time. I can tell you their stories were not like this. Nope. Nope. It was nice stuff. They should have pulled me aside and asked me what was wrong with me. And they didn't. Yeah, they didn't. So, is it just a silly story is my point. It's just a silly story. Or is this a little girl crying out for help? And the only one, out of the depths of hell, he heard my cry and delivered me from all my trouble. Right? Because her paths lead to hell and death. And her guest, all you sitting in those pews, stink. That's why they're called a pew. They stink of stench and death and decay. Right? They're dead man's bones, and it needs a quickening to go on in there. So everyone has to come out of there. But yeah, sorry, I just got a text, so I lost my train of thought. I was going somewhere with that, but it's spiritual death. That's why we must be born again. You must be born. Marvel not that I say unto you, you must be born again. It's a quickening of the Holy Spirit. But you know what? I don't think anything's wrong with sharing this so you can see. It's not like, oh, she had it so easy. Or, her mind was already okay. No. Hello? My mind was so deranged, and I was Catholic. With the spirit of lust, doing things that you shouldn't be doing at a young age. Not with anybody. Just saying. Thoughts and things that are just wicked. That's all I got to say. But I was very deranged. And these are not just silly stories. So are you going to believe that? Are you going to believe that? Or if you were a teacher, would you be like, silly story? No, that little girl needs help. First off, what church do you go to? They're not helping you. Get out of there. Get out of there. There's attachments and soul ties. You join hand in hand with a harlot and two become one flesh. Joining hand in hand with the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, and having statues around and doing the holidays and praying the rosary and being told to kiss the statue of Mary's feet with the serpent around its feet, doing all these things, and then watching things that you shouldn't be watching at that age, like Chucky, and other kind of movies too. I just can't remember them right now. But they were scary movies too. Even at my grandma's house, every scary old 1980 film you can think of, they'd have on VHS tapes, and they would have just the worst, nudity, everything. It was bad. Oh, it was bad. So listen, my mind was deranged. So if the Lord can fix this mind, this kind of mind in a child, and it will manifest coming out of your heart, because when your mind is renewed, you're being transformed into the image of Christ. Your heart's different. He gives you different desires. You're sowing. That's why you got to read the book, read the Bible, read the Bible. You got to sow that good seed, the word of God, to your spirit, to the inner man. You got to get that doctrine in the inner man because it's alive. The word's alive. It's light. He's power. He's alive through those words. And those words are going to transform and root out all this negativity and darkness. It's going to go because light and darkness cannot dwell together. And it goes. Okay, I hope that this makes sense. That's why I shared this, to let you know just how, since he says, be you transformed by the, renewing of your mind, right? He tells you to put on the mind of Christ. And the Spirit, when you are born again, will search all the deep things of God. And no man know the Spirit of God, say the Spirit that's in him. So if you don't have, you got to be quick and born again, because naturally we're born and we don't have the Spirit of God. It's not like that with the spirit of a man. So when you get born again, that spirit is going to seek out and reveal to you, open it up to you. He opens it up. That's what Jesus does. He's the light that opens up the scriptures, because we're blinded, even in the reading of the Old Testament of Moses until the veil is done away in Christ, because he's the light, the New Testament. So you got to put on a new mind. So the thing is, you can have a deranged mind like this from birth. I mean, deranged. You can imagine my thoughts if I wrote something out in the open and wasn't hiding who I was. Yeah, I was putting my heart on paper, and that's a wicked, evil, dark, sinister heart. Hateful, malicious, wanting to hurt others. So I'm examining myself. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want people to know the real Jesus and to come to the knowledge of the truth. And I don't want people to be snared, and I know time is short. And that's what I care about. Everything God's desires of his heart, he's put in me. So he gives me the desires of thine heart, his own heart. It's not my desires. He removes those, because obviously I wanted to pull girls' hairs out. I wanted to pull their hair out. I wanted rocks and snow and ice to just crush them. So that's the kind of mind that I had. Yeah. But there's a spirit behind that, because I went to the Catholic Church and the different things that we had to do and the rituals that we did. Yeah. But God can renew your mind no matter how dark, how empty, how void. The worst thoughts can be made new. You don't have to take meds. You don't have to see a psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, the rapist to mind rape you. To mind rape you, where you're just thinking of the past nonstop and you never move forward. That's why I think about what people did to me, sure. I think about the hurts. But what you really focus on is, what did I do that hurt others? Don't focus on me. The hurts are there, but what did I do to hurt others? Then I'm forgiven when I think about what I did to hurt, not always think about, what did someone do to hurt me? Ooh, this hurts. This is in here because of you. No, I think about, well, what did I do to hurt them? I hope they forgive me. What did I do to hurt them? I might have this wound because I hurt somebody else. Then God, when you focus on Jesus, take the attention off yourself, he goes in there. He'll remove those hurts that people did to you. But as I'm searching my heart, this is how he's helped me. This is how he's helped me. I'm looking at what I did to others. Looking at them, esteeming them more than myself. Thinking, what did I do to them? And those things that I did caused hurt. In others. And God forgives and starts to remove these other hurts. Removes these hurts, mercy and grace, through his grace and the power. His resurrection power. Power is blood, right? Newness of life. He removes these hurts that people did to you. Like, I forgave my grandpa. So the hurts, I thought about my grandpa being a drunkard, being a Catholic, being in bars, and he would hang nuns on actual clothes, where you'd hang your coat. Yeah. Anyway, he would do that. Ew, Catholic is wicked. Catholic's wicked. Oh, it's. I mean, I don't know if every family is like that. My Catholic family. I'm not saying my immediate family. We had a lot of good times, but Catholic, there's no deliverance. There's no newness of life. There's no new heart. It's trapped in bondage to everything, getting worse and worse and worse. Anyway, when God, well, you don't look back. So we don't put my hand to the plow and go looking back. But found this silly story. And you can, just for testimony, I thought for testimony would be a good idea to show it, to see how deranged, how dark a mind can be. You can be a psychopath who hears voices. And Jesus, the washing of water by the word, by the sovereign will of God, can quicken you, make you alive, make you new, born again, and wash you, and remove all that hurt. The stuff that people did to me, I can understand what we wrestle. I have compassion for my enemy, and even for the predator. I do. I do. Vengeance belongs to God. We bless them so it'll heap coals upon their head, right? In doing so. They're thirsty, they're hungry. Well, then you give your enemy something. Because by blessing them, it heaps coals upon their head. You don't want to take away that judgment by trying to seek vengeance yourself. An eye for an eye or something. Hurt them back. No. No. But I say the Lord have mercy on their soul. And what they did doesn't sting anymore. God took the sting out of it. And I look at it like it's principalities and powers. It's devils that were working through that person while they were in sorcery spirits, while they called alcohol spirits. They were operating in a spirit, and the enemy's lust was satisfied upon them. There's lust and different things that they're dealing with, like maybe being child predators and what else? That kind of stuff. But thank God, it never got even, it didn't get that far at all, but it was a grooming process that was happening. Yeah, that would mess somebody up. But when I look at things spiritually and who we wrestle, I forgive. That's how it is. I forgive. God does that. That's by his power. He does that. So you can be deranged. It's not a silly story. So I'm going to throw this away. Okay, God bless you in Jesus Christ. Got to renew the mind. Doesn't matter what kind of hurt you went through. Doesn't matter what people did to you. Doesn't matter what they did to you. Let the Lord show you what you've done to others. Let him root that out. Then everything else, the hurts from what other people have done to you, God will work that out with that. That's how he's been doing it with me. So I just wanted to share how he's been doing this in me. And it's taken a little while, for about 4 years. How I used to be. So much animosity, hate, and bitterness, calling all of my family members, all of the people on my mom's side to blame them. And say, you didn't believe me. You never believed me. And it happened to some of you, and it never believed me. You never believed me. It was that kind of thing. Self-pity and self-loathing, and just feeling sorry for myself, I guess. Oh, look at me, I'm the victim. Yeah, well, we're all victims of Satan. We're all slaves. Slaves to sin at first. Slaves to sin, victims to Satan. All of us his target, right? We don't wrestle flesh and blood. Once I understood that, really understood that, then something happens where the hurts start going. They start leaving. Okay, God bless you in Jesus.